Just want to show you simple trading patterns you can duplicate in 49ja. So just watch and you can implement it. The last video I did was on the golden visual on Sportsbet. Now most persons are able to understand that because the concept I used was very simple. Now let me just okay. Now I'm going to try as much as possible to use a easy concept as that. However, remember that the interface of the games are not same and the games are not same, so it's likely not to be same as what you have seen the last time. Now this is the Bet9ja League visual. Ignore every other thing you're seeing on the screen because I might go back and explain in detail the partition you're seeing here and what is for. Okay, so for now, let me show you a rare market. Now, I'll be making use of a rare market. If you look at the screen, you are going to see that the smallest odd here, remember there is a principle of odd, and the principle of odd states that the lower the odd, the higher the chances of that event to occur, and the higher the odd, the lower the chances of that event to occur. This interprets that if you see a game just by looking at the odds alone, for instance, you don't know anything to do, if you just look at the odds alone, you just seeing that this odd here is smaller than this one automatically interprets that this outcome is most likely to occur compared to this one. This outcome has higher chances of occurring than this one, and indirectly the now here's the thing. Let me explain something again. As the principle of odds interprets and states, if this odd because it's small is higher than it has higher chances of occurring than this odd you are seeing here, then what challenge is going to be there? Why not just trade on this one? Fine, you can actually decide to trade on this one, which gives you a better advantage of winning. But here is the thing. When you trade on this one, you are going to have a challenge. The most likely challenge you are going to face is coming from here, which is the odd that is closest to this one, to this small odd. Okay, so meaning at this point whereby this is the smallest odd, this outcome is most likely to appear according to the principle of odd, and the second most likely to appear outcome is this. So in this game now, this is not your concern. Your major concern is this, since you are going for this. Okay, if you are to go for this, your major concern, which is your major challenge, is going to be this odd, not this one. Now if you are to go for this, your major challenge is going to be this. On the other hand, if you are going for this, your major challenge is going to be this and this. So here's the thing. If you are going for this now, the house is two hands advantage over you. Okay, so meaning if you are trading for Brentford to win Manu, the house is having a two-edge advantage over you. But if you decide to go for Manu to draw, then the house is having how should I put this? The house is having about a 70% advantage. 70% in the sense that now you have rolled out this one. Now my analysis by percentage when it comes to this draw might be wrong. Hello, it might be wrong in the sense that the percentage splitting of the 70 I have given might not be what you are expecting. This is because if you take the draw markets, if you are going for the draw market, the major challenge you're having is this. This is less of a concern, but it's also possible that is going to happen. Okay, so let's assume that this one carries 70% chances and this carries 30% chances. This is why I've splitted this. So for this one to take place, it has 70% chances that it's going to be this rather than it's going to be this. Okay. Now, if you are coming for this, you have more like a 60 to 40. Hmm? A 60 to 40 in the sense that you have 60% advantage over the house by principle of ordering. By principle of ordering, you having the smallest odd means you are at advantage points. Now, these two combined, these two are actually on the high side. So if this outcome repeats itself, just like this balls that is having equivalent odd range, if this repeats itself, if this particular pattern, this pairing, Mayu and Brentford is playing, if this pairing repeats itself for probably in about uh, about 10 times, here is the deal. It's possible that in that 10 times, this one is going to make this outcome is of winning in a normal outcome, okay, in a normal situation, okay, this one will record more winning than these two combined. Okay, that's what I mean, and it's a very simple and proven concept. Okay, so let's start now. By the principle of ordering, we are just going to randomly, okay, pick odd based on the principle of ordering. Now here is how it's going to work. Since it states the lower the odd, the higher the chances of winning. Hello. Then you are going for the lowest one. However, there is one disadvantage to going for the lowest odd, and that disadvantage is your inability to double properly. In other words, your inability to efficiently use your trading power is a problem. This is a problem because, let's take for instance, if you are trading for this now, this is an average odd. If you fail and you used 1,000 naira as your initial trade, your next trade is just for you to use times two of your capital that has been lost, which means if you used 100 naira, 1,000 naira, the next amount is 1,000 times two. That's how you determine your next amount. So you use 2,000. If you lost the 2,000, to determine the next amount you have to use, that is 2,000 times two again. That would be 4,000. So that continues. However, if you are coming for an average odd whereby the odd is below 1.4, it will require you to go into the market with a higher capital, because instead of going with just times two to determine your next amount of trading is no longer so. It will require you to go into the market with a more intensive capital than required. Okay, so I'll go with this odd. Okay, now I'm going with this by principle of odd. Okay, so I'll start my trade just for illustration purpose. I'm starting the trade with 100 naira. My network is bad, probably because the page has been left open for some time, so I will have to refresh. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, Sega Papa Sayo, Rari Abuwe, Meow. You read me in the football for up, but me Rari Abu. Okay, so I'm going to replace the bet again. This is and you read me in the football for up, but me Rari Abuwe. Eh, Jesus, eh, Jesus, eh, Ogene. Finyotu Mapamatum, Gagonwari Karutu Carmene. Finyotu Mapamatum, Gagonwari Karutu Carmene. Eh, Jesus. Okay, so we made the win. Now we made a win. Here is the deal. Now that we have made a win, in the next league, let's look. Now we can keep repeating same pattern over and over again. Here is one thing you should understand. If we are going for the principle of ordering, the sweet part of it is that you are not sticking to one thing. You don't go for the principle of ordering and then stick to one thing. You usually hit a high negative parallel trend when sticking to a particular thing. However, if you do not stick to one thing and you are using this pattern, it's quite safer than when you are using sticking to one thing. Okay, so you don't stick to one thing. Now we've made our win. So let's look at it again. Remember, we are looking at it from both the home side and the away side. So it doesn't really matter where we get a perfect entry point from. Now, here is the, I'm going for this. I don't want to go for a odd that is below 1.40 odd because like I explained earlier, the calculation will be too demanding. Like demanding in terms of the capital that will be required for us to trade with. Okay, so I'm going for this. In actual sense, according to the principle of ordering, this is the best game for me to pick because the odd is smaller than every other odd in terms of these markets. Okay, now why am I not taking this? Like I explained earlier, the lower the or the capital that will be required for me to trade will be intensive. Okay, now I'm not looking at my own perspective, I'm looking at it from the aspect of new traders. Okay, or those who do not have sufficient capital to be able to trade and raise that capital to a sufficient amount for them to start being confident in their trading. Okay, now since we are going for this because it's the second minimum odd, here I can see I'm going starting from 100 again. Remember, we made the win, so I'm sticking to my number one of the calculation. Now, when you are trading and you are not using a fixed odd in your trading, what you are actually going to do is called live calculation. Live calculation means that you cannot write down the calculation before starting your trade. This means if is a fixed odd like 1.2 odd, 1.5 odd, 5 odd, 10 odd, 20 odd, you can easily make down a written calculation. Hello, you can easily make down a written calculation while you trade. Okay, but in this situation whereby the odd we are going to pick next, we don't know it till we get to the next game, you can't make a calculation down. Okay, so yeah, here is the next game. Okay, so yeah, we have a tie in tie. So how do we decide when we have a tie like this? Aston Villa Leicester is playing with the odd of 1.46, and also Brentford and Southampton is playing with the odd of 1.46. Now, how do we decide what team to pick? It's very simple. Either one you pick is same thing as the other. However, in a situation like this, if you are doubling, I'll prefer that you skip for safety reasons, okay? Because when you are doubling, you tend to make wrong choices. But if you are not doubling, this is the beginning of the game, your calculation you are still in when trading. it doesn't necessarily matter because you have not used up any trading powers. Okay, so I'll be going for the top one since this is what is at the top. But another way to also estimate when you are in a situation like this is another way to estimate for the best entry point is look at what team has the weakest position. For instance, the team at the away or like the F series team, which one of them is having the minimum categories in the categorization? Both Leicester, in this case now, both Leicester and Southampton are in same category, which is F1, and both Aston Villa and Brighton are in same category, which is A4. Okay, so that is still not applicable yet. So we are going for the first one. Okay, now Finyotu Mapamatumene Kaganoari Karotu Karamene, Abe Finyotu Mapamatumene Kaganoari Karotu Karamene, E Jesu, E Jesu, Eu Gene, Gememia o, Gememia ye, Abafrika ye yo, Africa ye. So we made the win again. Okay, we made the win. Now let's proceed. Yeah, let me change pattern now. So that was for okay. Changing of pattern in a single video will not actually make sense because if a video is known for a particular strategy, it will be easier for you to come back and rewatch it, get the strategy right by watching it all over again. But if we introduce a multiple strategies in a single video, it won't really make sense. So I'll just stick to this. Okay. Uh Next is so this is not just applicable in this market only for the head to head. This is applicable, the principle of coding is applicable to all markets. Okay, let's take for instance now, let's come to the gold market. Now the smallest or the lowest odd you could see here is Aston Villa playing with IPS. Now since that's the minimum odd, I'm going for that. Now they are going to play goal. Okay. So let's say hmm, we are probably going to lose this game. Okay. So we lost this. Now let's recover it. So we've lost $100. So we come. Next is this. And this. Okay, this actually lower. So this one is lower. So we're going for this. Okay. Now, I'm going to reintroduce another concept to further strengthen this principle. So just watch. After we recover this money, I'm going to introduce that. Now, initially we used 100 naira, so plus 250, that's 350. Now, we are going to get in return 415 naira, that's about 16 and 65 naira profit if we make a win in this one. But if we do not make a win, that's we have lost 350. Finyotu mama tumne kagina wari karotu karamene. Finyotu mama tumne kagina wari karotu karamene. Hey, Jesus. Okay, we lost it again. So that is 350 gone. So we go again. Hey, again. See, I believe this is the minimum. Okay, so we have to again. So I'm going for this since oh, this is the minimum. Okay, here's the minimum. It's not a tie. So I was thinking it's a tie. So we've lost 350. So we want to get back 350. Now if I use 550, plus 350 is going to give me 900, which is exactly 900 here. And I will not want this because 900 here will not give me a profit in return. So if I add 100 to it, making it 650, my total amount I'll be spending is going to be 1000, and my profit will be how much? 65 bucks, which is okay. So however, on the other hand, if this game doesn't make you win, remember that we've lost 1000 naira. So you keep record, since you are not calculating down before going to the market, you keep record of how much you are losing and how much you are winning. Okay, so here's the thing. We've recovered our money. Let me explain something to you. When using this principle, irrespective of the fact that the principle states that the lower the odd, the higher the chances of you making a win, you should also try and apply filtration. Now, in this concept, how do we apply filtration? Is a very simple thing. Now, filtration means look into the system. What made this thing fail before, or what made this a principle or strategy failed before? When you determine this thing that made this thing failed, then you take it away. Like in the next one, it's more like you had an accident because you were drunk while driving. So next time when driving, you do not drunk. You do not get yourself drunk. Okay. So don't drink next time when driving. Same thing is applicable to you. That's filtration now. You do not make that same mistake again. So don't repeat same mistake. Now, when you make a win, look at the layer of the winning. How was this set up like when I made recorded that win? Okay, so let's say for instance now, look at this now. The minimum odd here, the minimum odd in this game is 1.66. This okay, now a perfect one here. Tottenham Southampton and Newcastle Wolverhampton is having a equal odd range. Okay, now these two teams are having a equal odd range. How do you select it, and why are you selecting this one you are selecting? This is filtration. So it's not just about going for the minimum odd. You can go for the minimum odd, but what's the reason why you are going for that minimum odd outside the principle stating you do this way? Okay, so it, the condition now is not that simply because the odd, what I'm trying to explain is this. Simply because the odd is the minimum in this list does not mean you have to go for that one all the time. Okay, look at the game. Is that principle is only trying to explain to you, go for a smaller odd because they have a better chances of winning, not necessarily that you should go always for the one that is the smallest. Okay, so let's do this now. Yeah, if you look at this now, Newcastle Wolfham have 1.66 odd, meaning this game pairing and this game pairing is the smallest odd range here. Now, Newcastle can easily score a goal, be it in the away. But does Wolfham has the potential to score Newcastle? That's one thing you should consider. You need to look at a pairing that the away team can easily make score a goal, while the 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 team at the home, because it's having the home advantage, it can use that to struggle and at least come up with, even if not winning the game, at least come up with one goal for you in this scenario. Okay, so let's assume Wolfham is not potential enough to score that one goal for you. Let's assume. we come to Southampton. Tottenham can easily score a goal, but can Southampton in return also score a goal against Tottenham from this position? That's a debate. But let's look at this one now. This is the second to the minimum odd. Okay. Now, in this second to the minimum odd, Liverpool is playing against Chelsea and Liverpool is away. Liverpool can easily score a goal against Chelsea while playing from away. Can Chelsea score a goal against Liverpool? Yes. Chelsea can as well easily obtain one goal at least. So if it happens that you are playing based on this pattern of likelihood, even if it does not enter for you in this one, in the next one it enters for you. If it doesn't enter for you in the next one, the other one it enters for you. But be more precise in your analysis this way. That this is the reason why I'm going for this option. This is my belief and this is my stance. Okay, so long as you believe in that thing, apply that thing the right way and consistently focus on that thing. That's what it means. Then, if you are not getting the expected results, you apply filtration to improve on it. Is it understandable? So, the concept is that simple. Now, Wolfram that we underestimated just in the first leg, they have scored goal. Tottenham and Southampton also that we underestimated just in the first half, they have scored goal. This does not mean that, see, when I'm making this analysis, it does not mean these teams are not going to score. You understand? They they can score. You understand? They can score. You are not certain of the outcome. So you just need something to give you an edge over the system. And that edge is the principles you grab very firmly to. Okay? That's the advantage point. Let's take, for instance, now, I'm coming back to here again. Let's do this. Now, there is something called accuracy betting. Most persons will already be familiar with it. Um, if you have not attended training, you will not know what accuracy betting is. So, majorly, those who have attended training will know what accuracy betting is. I see you, Mama, no fear. Hmm? I for say hi to you, but you just don't show face for my video, ni. Okay, here's the thing. Uh, in this particular week, the minimum odd is Chelsea playing against Arsenal, which is a fair and a very good odd, right? Yes. Why did I say it's a fair and a good odd? Now, the odd happens to be the minimum, and same time the pairing consideration is okay. The pairing consideration is okay in the sense that Chelsea can manage to score a goal against Arsenal, and Arsenal can easily score a goal against Chelsea from this their position of home. Okay, so this is what it means by better pairing. Let's take a look at other examples. For instance, assuming we are not going by this game, which other game are we likely to go with? By following the principle of Odin. Now, here is the term. Following the principle of Odin, the next game that follows is Brighton playing against Nottingham Forest. Now, Nottingham Forest in this real life, in this season, they are very good. They can smash Brighton if it's by this real life standard, by this league, this season's league. But according to this computer program, no. Nottingham Forest is not as good as you think. Okay, but this does not mean they can't obtain one goal. Okay, so we are going to move forward and take a look at the next one, which is going to be Aston Villa Brentford. Okay, so this is going to be our next option to consider, which is actually a very good one. So I'm going with the Chelsea Arsenal since it's the fairest of all. Okay. Obrigado, Palavia. So the Brentford and Aston Villa just on the first leg, they delivered for us what we intend for them to do. And on the other hand, Chelsea was able to score 2 goals, but Arsenal said no, let Chelsea go by nil. Okay, so we go again, so we'll be able to recover our money. Now, another thing we observed from that game, Arsenal being at that position, Arsenal uh, is okay. Let me just leave that first so that I won't complicate the ideas. Okay, so that you'll be able to know you're just sticking to two things in this video. So because if I start combining different things now, you might mix it up and not get the concept of this video as I intend. Now, in this situation, the minimum order, according to the principle of order, remember, is two things we are looking at according to the principle of ordering and according to the standard of pairing. Okay, the pairing capacity, the team's abilities. Okay, potentials to score. Okay, now here is it. The first is Tottenham Chelsea, which happens to be having the minimum odd. Now, Tottenham can easily score a goal. No, Chelsea can easily score a goal from the home. Can Tottenham score from away? Uh, that's one thing. That's one thing we should know, consider. Now, let me assume that Tottenham is able to score, but they are going to find it difficult. Now, why did I say Tottenham is going to find it difficult in scoring in a long-term duration? Here is this. In the categorization, Chelsea is in A2, Tottenham is in A4. There is a gap of one category of teams in between these two teams. So, assuming they were immediate pairings, it would have been more fair than it is now. Okay, so let's take for instance now, this pairing you see here is same. Okay, it's not entirely same as this. Okay, now the next thing with the lowest categorization is going to be this. Okay, all right. Arsenal against Man City. Now, no, this is 1.69. This is 1.68. Yeah, 1.68. So this is the next according to the principle of order. So you can decide that we should go for this or this. Either one is fine. However, remember Tottenham is going to find it challenging scoring a goal. Let's go for it. So there is no harm in trying. Remember, we are trying to recover back our money for the 100 naira we've lost. So if we're going in with, I'm going with 300. So that's a total of 400. So we'll be making 100 naira profit and we'll make a win. Finyotu mapama tumene kagnuari karotu karmene. Finyotu mapama tumene kagnuari karotu karmene. Eh Jesus, eh Jesus, eh Yogene. So you can see what I'm trying to explain, right? It will be difficult for Tottenham to score a goal from that position because of the difference. Now, that does not mean if these teams are meeting in 2 or 3 occasions or on the long run, probably in the next time they are meeting, Tottenham won't score. No, It doesn't mean so. Okay, it just means we are concerned about this current pairing, and in this current pairing, what's the possibility that as Tottenham was going to score? Okay, that's what we are considering. Now, in this game, the minimum we have here is 1.66, and that's Tottenham against Leicester. Okay, there's a tie here. We still have Brighton and Brentford. Since there is a tie, let's go for the second one. Okay, and besides the second one, according to the pairing capacity, the team potentials of scoring, this one is more fair compared to this one here. That's because if you look here, you are going to see that Tottenham playing Leicester. Leicester is the F1 team. This is the A4 team. So the gap difference is actually much. However, this team, remember, this team has something that this one does not have. Like it's giving a certain advantage, and that advantage is known as the home advantage. I think we should. I'll probably make a video explaining what the home advantage is about. That's a very huge advantage. Remember, we've lost 400. Okay, so if I go in with 600, I won't be able to recover my money. If I go in with 700, that's 1001. I'll be making 16 naira profit because I've lost how much? Because I've lost 400 naira. So 400 plus 700 is 1. So we'll be getting 1160, meaning 16 naira profit if we make a win in this one. Finyotu mapamat meneka gunawari karutu karmene. Finyotu mapamat meneka gunawari karutu karmene. Yep, Africa we yo, Africa ye yo. Okay, so we made our win very easily. So you can see what happened there in that third time. Oh, I wish I could go back. Yeah, I can't go back as well. That Leicester played 1-0 against Tottenham. I'll make a full video explaining the home advantage. It's a very nice one too. So guys, I'm going to stop this video here. But okay. Meanwhile, I just want to believe that you were able to understand the concept of this video. Okay. If you do not understand this video, please do not apply it the wrong way. If you do not understand it, it's best you ask question. Okay, and I just wanted to get two things right on this video. The principle of odding, meaning the lower the odd, the higher the chances of that event to occur on this hand. Then this is one, which is more like the primary content of this video. Then on this hand, we have the same capacity, like the pairing of the things. What team pairing is best for us to trade on? Okay, so that's it. Just get these two concepts right, and that's all I've been trying to explain in this video.
chips on this table, I'm ready for the fight. Every loss is a lesson, every win's just a sign. Kurosoft's in the game, and this life's gonna be mine. Chasing dreams and fortunes, I'll never back down. In the casino of life, I'll play for my soul. With every bet I place, I'm reaching my goal. From the shadows I came, now I'm ready to shine. Kurosoft's on a mission, victory will be mine. Stacking chips high, like my hopes and my dreams. Behind every card there's a chance, or so it seems. I know luck's just a